Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the virtual public information meeting for State Project 42331, which is the rehabilitation of Bridge 374 carrying Route 2 over the Hockanum River in East Hartford, Connecticut. My name is Corey Burrows from the Connecticut Department of Transportation Consulting Bridge Design Team, and I will be the MC for tonight's virtual public information meeting. We hope that everybody finds the presentation informative and that we'll be able to answer and address any questions or concerns you may have. Next slide, please. Before we get started, let's start with the main presentation. I want to walk you through the goals and format for tonight's meeting. First, I'll introduce the project team, including the CTDOT leadership, the consultant liaison engineering team, and the design team, and explain how to interact with us during the meeting. CHA will present the existing conditions, purpose and need for the project, and then they will hand it off to Banesh's team to present the technical portion of the presentation, which includes the design work, which has progressed to about a 30% level. Following the technical presentation, we will open it up for comments and questions. Next slide, please. As part of the Title VI civil rights, no person on the basis of race, color, or national origin be excluded from participation or subject to discrimination in the development of this project. A link is included on this slide for additional civil rights information. We would greatly appreciate if you would complete the public survey after tonight's meeting. A link and a QR code are provided on this slide. Links to both the public survey and the civil rights flyer are also available on the project website. Next slide, please. This is the Title VI notice to the public, which states that the Connecticut Department of Transportation operates its programs and services without regards to race, color, and national origin in accordance with the Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. Any person who believes he or she has been aggrieved by any unlawful discriminatory practice under the Title VI may file a complaint with CTDOT. Next slide. This slide has the Title VI notice of the public in Spanish. I will pause on this screen for a minute before moving on to the next slide. A recording of this presentation will be posted to YouTube after the event, and closed captioning, including non-English translation options, are available both on Zoom and on YouTube. Next slide, please. Available to those joining us tonight through Zoom is the option to view captions or subtitles. To turn on this feature, select the Show Captions button or the CC button at the bottom of your screen. Then select the Speaking Language button and then select the desired language. Next slide, please. To use the Zoom Q&A function, select the Q&A tool at the bottom of the webinar window. The Q&A window will open as seen on the right. Then you can type the question in the text box and click enter, and it will submit the question. Next slide, please. Questions can be submitted in multiple ways. For the quickest response, please submit questions through the Zoom Q&A as noted on the previous slide. This function will only be available during tonight's meeting. If you would like to submit your questions through email, please use the email provided, dotproject0042-0331@ct.gov. You can also pose a question via phone at 860-594-2020 and leave a voicemail and reference the project number in your voicemail. The project email, voicemail, and Q&A box will be screened by the project team, and the project team will then read the questions out loud. Questions may be asked at any time during the presentation, but they will be answered at the end. There is also a public web page where a recording of tonight's meeting will be made available. The web page will also include information that was explained on how to leave questions and comments for the project team. That website is shown at the bottom of this slide. Questions or comments after tonight's meeting may be submitted until July 16th via email or voicemail. Next slide, please. I'd like to introduce the project team. First, from the Connecticut Department of Transportation, we have Derek Lassard, Division Chief of Bridges, Francisco Fudul, Supervising Engineer, and myself, Corey Burrows, Project Engineer. Additionally, CHA Consulting is working on the project as the department's consultant liaison engineers. From CHA, we have Don Worst, the CLE Program Manager, and Carl Stanek Jr., CLE Project Manager. Banesh is the consultant design engineer for this project. Mark Habak is the project manager. Ryan Allard is the roadway lead. Next slide, please. This is a CTDOT district map of the state and highlights the location of East Hartford and its district. Note that East Hartford is located in District 1. Next slide, please. Here you'll see the location of the project site relative to Route 515 and the Charter Oak Bridge, which crosses the Connecticut River. I will now hand over the presentation to Carl Stanek to discuss the existing conditions and purpose and need for this project. Take it away, Carl.
Thank you very much, Corey. And I'll stay on this slide and talk a little bit more about the project location here. So our bridge is Bridge 374, which is located here, circled here. Begins right over here and actually ends a little bit underneath the Charter Oak Bridge. The bridge carries 2 through lanes or 3 through lanes of Route 2 eastbound traffic, which actually merge over the bridge and continue on. It also carries 3 through lanes of westbound traffic and also an auxiliary lane that comes off the Charter Oak Bridge and comes off onto as an off-ramp leading to East River Drive north of the bridge. In addition, the Hockanum River Linear Park runs alongside the off-ramp to East River Drive here and actually runs underneath span 1 of the bridge and eventually connects to the East Coast Greenway through this forested area right here. East Coast Greenway runs southwest of the bridge and parallel to the bridge underneath the Charter Oak Bridge as well. The Hockanum River flows north to south underneath span 2 of the bridge and eventually empties out into the Connecticut River. There is also a existing access road from East River Drive that comes across and underneath the Charter Oak Bridge. So as we mentioned earlier, the Hockanum River Linear Park runs parallel to the off-ramp and to the bridge and comes underneath span 1 and eventually leads into the East Coast Greenway. See a couple of photos of it. These 2 photos look south and this photo over here looks east, looks underneath the bridge, span 1. You can see by the little map down here that again it joins up with the East Coast Greenway, goes underneath the bridge, eventually comes over to Route 5 and actually heads further east to Manchester and eventually to Vernon as well. So here we'll talk about some of the existing bridge itself. So the bridge was constructed in 1962. It was rehabilitated in 1989, also 1996, where the superstructure of the bridge was replaced. And even recently in 2023 with above deck work only as part of the Route 2 corridor project. The bridge has 5 total spans with the varying span lengths, but a total bridge length of approximately 443 feet. The width as well of the bridge varies, with the widest point at abutment number 1 is approximately 142 feet. The most narrowest point at approximately around Pier 3 and span 3 at about 100, just over 100 feet wide. The superstructure is reinforced concrete deck over weathering steel plate girders. The number of girders do vary by span as the bridge width does vary, with the most amount of girders, excuse me, in span 1 at 18, and spans 3 through 5 at about 15 girders each. The spans 1 and 2 are continuous via bolted splices, and spans 3 through 5 are also continuous as well. The substructure consists of reinforced concrete piers and abutments with wing walls mounted on steel piles. In addition, we have reinforced concrete parapets across the bridge on either side, with the eastbound outside eastbound parapet being recently replaced as part of the corridor project. There are also median parapets as well, separating the eastbound and westbound side, and also located where a longitudinal joint is located that extends across the entire length of the bridge. There are also joints at the abutments and at Pier 2 as well. So the project purpose and need is to address the deficiencies identified in the latest bridge inspection report to improve the structure condition, extend the service life, and provide safe travel for all facility users. The needs of the project are to improve the National Bridge Inventory or NBI condition rating to a fair or better for all major components, provide at least 20 years of service life for the existing bridge, repair or strengthen existing steel girders as required, maintain bridge deck joints and preserve bridge elements beneath them, protect steel girders along that open longitudinal joint that I showed earlier and at select girder ends, ensure all bearings are functional and in a state of good repair, and restore abutments, piers, and wing walls to a state of good repair. So as I mentioned in the previous slide, we'll talk a little bit about the National Bridge Inventory Rating Scale, or the NBI scale. So every 2 years, each bridge on a state roadway is inspected, and every component of that bridge, whether it be part of the superstructure, the girder superstructure that carries the bridge, or the deck, even the piers and the abutments, every part of that is given a rating during every inspection cycle from 0 to 9. Just because any component is rated to be in poor condition does not necessarily mean any drastic concerns, but it does mean that Connecticut DOT is looking at it and assessing the proper rehabilitation. So here we'll talk about the existing field conditions, in particular the superstructure. And again, we see some of the ratings here. So the girders do rate to be in poor condition. There's some heavy laminated rust, especially at the girders alongside that longitudinal joint, which is slightly open. You can see some of the gapping right here, and that allows for infiltration of water and debris to collect and um, to impact the steel girders, cause some of that laminated rusting. You could see here on a girder end and along the bearing as well, and some other spots along several other girders as well. Here we have the existing conditions of the substructure in general. For the most part, the substructure is in satisfactory condition with some fair ratings, particularly on the caps. Overall, most of the various substructure units are in satisfactory condition. So we show the abutments, the 2 abutments, piers 1, piers 3, and 4, which overall are in good condition. So really, for the substructure and what might be bringing it to more of a fair rating, it would be pier 2. And again, I had mentioned earlier about the open joint being at this pier as well. And as you can see from the various pictures here, the deterioration, you could see some spalling of the concrete or chipping away, exposing some of the rebar elements there. You can see some cracking, some efflorescence showing, particularly because of the leakage coming through, quite a bit of debris on the pier cap itself. And even at the end of the pier here, you see quite a bit of deterioration. So this would be the pier affected the most. And with that, I will introduce Mark Habeck from Alfred Benish and Company to discuss the proposed scope of work for this bridge rehabilitation. Go ahead, Mark.
Thanks, Carl. All right, so now we're going to talk about the proposed project scope for the job, which is to rehabilitate the existing bridge superstructure and substructure, primarily through performing routine maintenance tasks. The project includes localized steel repairs and strengthening to the bridge superstructure. It also includes cleaning and metallizing the girders at that open longitudinal joint between eastbound and westbound that Carl mentioned. Cleaning and metallizing the beam ends at pier number 2, which has a joint above it. Replacing all bearings at pier number 2, as well as select bearings that are deteriorated throughout the structure. Removing and reconstructing pier number 2 cap. It's a concrete pier cap that will be reconstructed. And as far as the other substructures, abutments and piers, those will be repaired as necessary through concrete patching. The deck joints on the bridge located at the abutments and pier number 2 will be replaced. At pier number 1, the stone revetment will be repaired for a small area under pier number 1. And the construction of access roads to facilitate these repairs will be required for this project. So now we'll be going through a few of the preliminary design plans and highlighting each of those scope items that I just discussed. Starting with this bridge plan, looking down at the bridge, this is really focusing on the work that will be done up above at the roadway level. That includes replacing of the joints. As you can see highlighted in yellow here, those joints are located at both abutments as well as at pier number 2. Moving on to the bridge elevation, this scope of work here, you can see the substructures highlighted in purple. Those substructures will be patched as needed to repair any deteriorations to the piers and abutments. You can see at the base of pier number 1, highlighted in green, there will be repair to the stone revetment there. It's approximately a 10-foot by 8-foot area that requires repair. Moving on to pier number 2, you can see at the top of that pier, highlighted in orange, is the pier cap. That existing concrete pier cap will be removed and reconstructed. And you can see some of the steel highlighted in the pink and blue. Those are some steel repairs, abrasive blast cleaning and metallizing that will be shown on the upcoming slides. Here we have the existing bridge cross section. You can see all of the existing bridge superstructure shown in that peach color here. What we're really highlighting is girders 9 and 10 in this image, boxed in blue. These are the 2 girders that are on either side of that longitudinal joint. These girders will be abrasive blast cleaned and metallized to protect them from any leakage through that longitudinal joint. Now we have the framing plans. Shown here are spans number 1 and 2. As you can see in magenta, those are the areas of proposed steel repairs. Shown in blue are the areas of abrasive blast cleaning and metallizing. Again, those 2 girders on either side of the longitudinal joint, as well as the beam ends at pier number 2 will be abrasive blast cleaned and metallized. Shown in red are the bearings that will be replaced, and those are along pier 2 in this image. Moving on to the remaining spans, spans 3 through 5. It's a very similar story. You can see the steel repairs shown in magenta, proposed steel repairs to the bridge superstructure. The abrasive blast cleaning and metallizing shown in blue. Beam ends at pier number 2, as well as the 2 girders on either side of the longitudinal joint, and the bearings that are to be replaced along pier 2. So looking at pier 2 here, you can see the elevation on both the east and the west side. Shown in orange is that pier cap that we've been talking about. That pier cap will be removed and replaced. And any other deteriorations to the pier itself will be patched, and those are shown in that bluish color there. Maintenance and protection of traffic and construction access during the project. maintenance and protection of traffic on Route 2. That will be to replace those joints at the abutments in Pier 2. We're proposing off-peak temporary lane closures for that work. You can see two access roads shown in yellow for the existing access roads that are out there right now. And we're extending both of those in that orange color. The first access road to the west here, coming off of East River Drive extension and that off-ramp, near that off-ramp to East River Drive, we'll be building the new proposed access road and connecting to the existing access road to get equipment underneath that northern side of the bridge, north of the Hockanum River. The other access road will also be coming off of East River Drive extension, a little more towards the eastern side of the image here. And that will be starting using the existing access road, and we'll be extending that access road in order to get to the bridge itself. Anticipated project impacts. Looking at the Hockanum River Linear Park, we anticipate a temporary closure of the Hockanum River Linear Park within construction limits during the project. As far as the Hockanum River itself, there are minimum impacts anticipated for that stone revetment work at Pier number 1. No impacts are anticipated for utilities or rights of way. And I will pass it over to Corey to talk about the schedule and construction cost.
Thanks, Mark. For the schedule, we're currently in the preliminary design phase and will be moving to final design later this summer. We anticipate the construction will begin in summer 2028 with the work being complete by fall of 2029. The anticipated construction cost is about $17.4 million, and the project will be funded with 80% federal and 20% state funds. No town funds will be utilized for this project. And please note that the project schedule and costs are preliminary and are subject to change as the design progresses. That concludes the presentation for tonight's meeting. We will now move into the open forum portion for your comments and questions. As a reminder, you can enter your questions in the Zoom Q&A window. You can also submit an email at the following email address, dotproject0042-0331@ct.gov, or call 860-594-2020 and leave a voicemail referencing the project name and project number. And the project team will get back to you as soon as they can. I also want to remind everybody that the comment period will be open through July 16th, 2025, should you think of a question after the meeting is concluded. You can email the project email at dotproject0042-0331@ct.gov, or you can call 860-594-2020 and leave a voicemail referencing the project number and the bridge number 00374. If you're leaving a voicemail after tonight's meeting, please sure to mention the project number so the question can be properly directed to our team. And the post-meeting survey will also be open through July 16th. All of the information we discussed tonight about the project, including the brief survey and project email address, can be found at the project website, which is shown at the bottom of this slide. A recording of tonight's presentation and the Q&A session will also be posted to the website following tonight's meeting. As a reminder, you can enter your questions into the Zoom Q&A window and the project team will get back to you as soon as they can. You can also email dotproject0042-0331@ct.gov or call 860-594-2020 and leave a voicemail. The final call. I'll wait another minute or so to see if any questions come in. Otherwise, you can email the project email shown on this slide, DOT project 004-00331 @ct.gov. Or you can call 860-594-2020 and leave a voicemail. If you're watching on YouTube, we will have the recording on the project webpage, and you can watch the entire presentation after tonight, including the question and answer session. At conclusion of the comment period, the report of meeting will be drafted for the presentation that will include all questions and answers during the meeting and during the comment period. All right, it looks like there were no questions for tonight's Q&A portion. So thank you everybody for attending and your participation in tonight's virtual public informational meeting. We appreciate everyone's time, input, and questions. As I previously said, we'll be monitoring the phone and email address during the comment period, which ends July 16th, 2025. A link to the project webpage has been posted to the chat, and we're looking forward to a successful project here in East Hartford. Thank you again, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you.